Hi there, cadets. Major Cadenza here, and today's lesson is about how to read a valved brass fingering chart. Valved brass fingering charts are actually quite simple to read, and the process is very easy. So I've put a blank chart in front of you right now. You have 3 dots, and I'm going to be focusing on valved brass instruments that only have 3 valves. So if you're playing an instrument that has 4, be it a French horn with a trigger, or a compensating euphonium, or a tuba with 4 valves, we're only focusing on the first 3. That 4th valve is not necessary, but it is helpful at times. But we're not learning that because we're just doing basics right now. So on an open valve series, we don't have any buttons pushed down, and this is what you will see. Anytime I'm talking about pushing down the first valve, what I'm going to do is color in the circle, like this. The first valve is the valve that you push with your right index finger, and that should be closest to the lead pipe or closest to your face on a trumpet. The second valve, which will be notated like this, is pressed by your right middle finger. And then last but certainly not least, the third valve is pressed by your right ring finger, and it would look like this. Now let's talk a little bit about the 7 different series that you can have on a valved brass instrument. The first one we're going to talk about is an open series, which means no valves are pressed. This would be like a G on a trumpet or an F for the trombone, baritone, tuba, euphonium. And that would look like this with an open fingering. If I want to go down 1/2 step from that note, be it a G on the trumpet or the F for the low bros, I'm going to press my second valve, and this would give us an E natural. So you can either E natural for low brass or an F sharp for the trumpet. If you understand whole steps and half steps, then this might help you in learning your different fingerings. If you don't understand whole steps and half steps, then just hang in with me and do the best you can. If I want to go down a whole step from that G series on the trumpet or the F series for the low brass, I'm going to press the first valve, and that will take us down a whole step to an E flat for the low bros or an F natural on the trumpet. If I want to go down 1.5 steps, I'm going to press both valves. This would give me an E on the trumpet or a D for the low bros. The next valve combination we have is to take us down 2 whole steps, and that is the second and third combination. So this would give us either an E flat on the trumpet or a D flat on the low brass instruments. The 1 and 3 valve combination will take us down 2.5 steps, and this combination will give us either a D on the trumpet or a low C on the low brass instruments. And the last combination is 1, 2, and 3, and that takes us down 3 whole steps. On the trumpet, this would give us a low C sharp, and on the low brass instruments, it would give us a B natural. Now, if all this is just a little bit too complicated for you, let's simplify it down and talk about the first 5 notes. If I were to play my first note on a trumpet or the low brass, it's going to be a C on the trumpet or a B flat for the low bros, and that's fingered open. My second note that I'd work on is a D on the trumpet or a C for the low bros, and that's first and third. The third note I would teach is an E on the trumpet or a D on the low brass, and that's first and second. And the fourth note I would teach you would be an F on the trumpet or an E flat for the low brass, and that's first valve. And then the last note I would teach you on the very first probably month of school would be an open G or an open F for the low brass. So I've just given you a huge crash course on how to read brass fingering charts and a little bit about how the valve sequences work. If some of it's confusing for you, that's okay. Don't worry about it right now. The middle chunk is a little bit complicated, but I wanted to expose those of you who think you might be able to grasp it. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at the address listed on the screen. I highly encourage you to be able to read and study fingering charts and learn these fingerings on your own, because the faster you can teach yourself these information, the faster you can get moving and the more you can learn in class. As always, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you keep practicing.